My friends, life is not a random collection of events. It is a carefully designed canvas, and you are the artist holding the brush. Every dream you hold, every vision you nurture, every desire that stirs your heart, they are not accidents. They are divine instructions whispered by your higher self, waiting for you to awaken and act upon them. But let me tell you something eternal and true. Goals without purpose are like ships without rudders. They may float, but they never reach the shore. Purpose is what breathes life into your ambitions. It is the invisible electricity that charges your dreams and sets them in motion. Many people set goals simply because they think they should. They say, I want more money, or I want success, or I want recognition. But they do not stop to ask, why? Why do you want that success? Why do you desire wealth? Why do you long to stand above the crowd? When the why is absent, the goal loses its power. It becomes hollow, mechanical, and often collapses under the first challenge. But when purpose stands behind your goal like a silent guardian, no storm can shake you. Purpose gives you strength when the path grows dark. It gives you courage when you are surrounded by doubt. It becomes the inner voice that whispers, keep going, the light is near. You see, the universe responds not to words, but to vibration. Your purpose carries your highest vibration. When your goals are aligned with that sacred frequency, doors open that were once locked, people appear who were once strangers, and opportunities flow like rivers finding their way to the sea. Purpose turns effort into energy and obstacles into stepping stones. It transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. Without it, you are chasing shadows. With it, you are walking in light. Think of the flower in the field. Its purpose is to bloom. The sun does not need to remind it to grow. The rain does not have to persuade it to open its petals. The flower simply fulfills its purpose, and in doing so, it becomes beautiful. In the same way, when you act from purpose, you become unstoppable. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer struggle, you flow. You no longer question your worth, you know it. Purpose is the spiritual backbone of achievement. You can have the most detailed plan, the sharpest intellect, and the finest resources, but without a burning sense of why, you will lose direction when the winds change. The goal may start strong but will fade, because there is no spiritual fire to keep it alive. Purpose keeps the fire burning through the night. It is what makes you rise again after defeat and say, I still believe. It reminds you that you were not born to drift, but to direct. Not to wait for destiny, but to create it. Every great achievement in this world began with a purpose that transcended personal gain. The artist paints not only to be admired, but to express beauty. The healer serves not only to earn, but to restore. The teacher teaches not just to speak, but to awaken. When your purpose is greater than yourself, you touch the infinite. That is when true power enters your life, the power that bends circumstances, the power that rearranges reality, the power that makes miracles appear natural. Purpose is not found in logic, but in intuition. It is the quiet calling within that says, this is why you are here. You cannot calculate it, you must feel it. You cannot force it, you must listen for it. Once you recognize it, your entire life begins to align. You stop fighting against the current and begin to flow with divine order. Your goals no longer feel like burdens, but like expressions of your inner truth. You no longer measure success by results, but by alignment. And when alignment comes, success is inevitable. So, my dear ones, do not chase goals without purpose. Do not exhaust your soul running after things that have no meaning to your spirit. Sit in silence and ask yourself, what do I truly desire to give to this world? What calls to my heart when all else grows still? When you discover that, you will hold the master key. Every goal you set from that place will come alive with sacred energy. The obstacles will shrink, the way will open, and life itself will conspire to bring you the resources, the people, and the strength you need. Purpose turns ordinary dreams into divine missions. It transforms fleeting wishes into enduring legacies. When you move with purpose, you move with the universe itself. And when you align with the universe, There is nothing you cannot achieve, no mountain too high, no vision too bold, no destiny too far. Purpose is the spiritual engine that gives direction and energy to every goal. It is the unseen force that moves you when everything else stands still. When you understand the purpose behind your desires, your actions gain a sacred rhythm. You are no longer wandering, you are being guided. You are no longer guessing, you are listening to something deeper. Purpose is the quiet flame that burns within the heart, illuminating the path even when the mind doubts and the world resists. Without purpose, goals become empty, checklists, tasks to be completed rather than truths to be lived. You can reach a goal and still feel unfulfilled if it wasn't born from purpose, because only purpose can nourish the soul while achievement feeds the ego. Every goal you set is like a seed, but it is purpose that gives it life. You can plant seeds in any soil, but only when they are aligned with the natural order do they grow strong. Purpose is that natural order within you. It tells you which direction to plant your efforts, which dreams to pursue, and which desires to release. Many people work tirelessly to achieve goals that do not belong to their spirit. They chase what others tell them to chase, and when they finally reach the top, they feel lost because the summit was never theirs to climb. But when your purpose is clear, your goals become sacred expressions of your inner design. Each step, no matter how small, carries divine weight. You feel alive, not just in success, but in the journey itself. Purpose gives meaning to the struggle. When you know why you are walking the path, the stones beneath your feet no longer feel like obstacles. They become lessons. Every delay becomes preparation. Every detour becomes guidance. You begin to see that life is not punishing you, it is polishing you. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Teach me." That shift is the mark of someone walking with purpose. Goals will test you, but purpose will sustain you. Purpose is what wakes you up when you want to sleep through your potential. It is what whispers hope when the world shouts doubt. It is what turns effort into joy, because you are no longer working against life, you are working with it. There is a sacred connection between purpose and power. The clearer your purpose, the greater your power. When you act with purpose, your energy multiplies. You no longer waste time in confusion or fear, because you know what you stand for and where you are heading. The universe mirrors that clarity. Opportunities start to align, people begin to appear, and events unfold in ways that seem miraculous. This is not coincidence, it is the law of alignment. When your inner vibration harmonizes with your purpose, the outer world adjusts to match it. But when you set goals without purpose, your energy scatters. You may have enthusiasm for a while, but it fades because there is no spiritual current sustaining it. Purpose is the current, it keeps the flow alive. Many people ask how they can find their purpose, as if it is hidden somewhere outside them. But purpose is not found in the world, it is found within. It is not something you must search for, but something you must remember. Deep within your heart lies a truth that has always known why you are here. When you silence the noise of comparison, fear, and doubt, you begin to hear it whisper. Purpose often speaks in the language of peace. When something makes you feel deeply alive, when your spirit feels expanded and free, that is the direction of your purpose. Follow that energy, and your goals will naturally take shape around it. Purpose gives courage because it roots you in something larger than yourself. When you act from purpose, you are no longer chasing approval or validation. You are serving a calling that transcends opinion. That is where true confidence is born. The person who knows their purpose cannot be shaken by temporary failure or criticism. They understand that every challenge is a tool for refinement, not rejection. Purpose anchors you in storms and steadies your spirit when everything else sways. It turns obstacles into teachers and pain into growth. The stronger your purpose, the greater your ability to endure without losing heart. Without purpose, even success can feel hollow. You may reach the finish line, but there will be an emptiness that success cannot fill. You will ask, "Is this all?" But when purpose drives your goals, fulfillment is woven into every moment. You feel meaning in progress, satisfaction in effort, and gratitude in every lesson. That is the true wealth of a purpose-driven life. Purpose transforms ambition from a race into a revelation. It no longer becomes about what you can get, but what you can give, what you can become, and what you can awaken in others. Purpose brings clarity where confusion once lived. It simplifies your decisions. You stop saying yes to everything that looks appealing and start saying yes only to what feels aligned. Your priorities rearrange themselves. You no longer chase after everything that glitters because you have learned that not everything that shines is gold. Purpose teaches discernment, the sacred ability to recognize what truly serves your highest good. With discernment comes peace, and with peace comes power. You become deliberate, intentional, and unwavering. When your actions flow from purpose, even small tasks become powerful. The energy behind your actions shifts. Purpose gives quality to everything you touch. A single word spoken with purpose can heal more than 1,000 spoken without it. A small act done with purpose can create ripples that reach beyond your lifetime. This is why purpose is the true measure of greatness. It is not about how much you do, but how aligned you are while doing it. Alignment magnifies impact. When purpose fills your goals, your work carries light. Purpose also connects you to divine timing. You begin to trust that what is meant for you will find you when you are ready. You stop forcing outcomes and start allowing flow. This doesn't mean you stop working. It means you work with faith. You know that each step, no matter how slow, is moving you closer to your destiny. You stop comparing your journey to others because purpose gives you your own pace. The rose and the oak tree bloom in different seasons, yet both fulfill their purpose beautifully. So too will you, in your perfect season, when your purpose has prepared you. Purpose gives energy not only to the mind but to the soul. When you are connected to it, exhaustion cannot defeat you. There is a fire within that keeps burning even when the body is tired. You feel driven not by pressure but by passion. This is why some people seem to glow with vitality even in hardship. They are fueled by purpose. It becomes their unseen source of strength, their sacred motivation that renews them daily. Purpose feeds the spirit, and when the spirit is fed, nothing can diminish its light. Purpose makes your journey sacred. It turns ambition into service, striving into surrender, and achievement into awakening. When you act from purpose, life itself becomes your partner. Every goal becomes a doorway to a deeper truth. Every effort becomes an offering of faith, and every step becomes a movement of divine energy flowing through you. You realize that your goals are not just about what you achieve, but about who you become in the process. The goal is only the outer form. Purpose is the inner transformation. It is the hidden power that turns ordinary life into a divine masterpiece. When your goals align with your inner purpose, the universe supports your journey effortlessly. There is a divine rhythm that governs all of creation, and when you are in tune with it, everything begins to flow in harmony. You no longer feel as though you are forcing your way through life, because life itself becomes your ally. The struggle softens, the resistance weakens, and opportunities begin to unfold in ways that defy explanation. This is not luck or coincidence. It is spiritual alignment. When the outer goal and the inner purpose move in the same direction, every effort is multiplied by unseen forces working on your behalf. You become a co-creator with the universe rather than a competitor against it. There is a difference between chasing goals from the ego and pursuing them from the soul. When goals are born from the ego, they are rooted in fear, comparison, and scarcity. The ego says, "I must have this to prove my worth," but the soul whispers, "I desire this to express my truth." The energy behind those two statements is entirely different. Ego-driven goals drain energy because they come from separation. Purpose-driven goals generate energy because they come from connection. When you act from your purpose, you are plugged into the infinite source of creation itself. You are no longer acting alone. You are acting through divine inspiration. Every idea, every opportunity, every door that opens is part of a greater design unfolding perfectly. Alignment does not mean there will be no challenges. It means that even challenges will serve you. When your purpose leads your goals, obstacles transform into teachers. You stop viewing difficulties as signs to quit and start seeing them as tools to refine your strength and deepen your wisdom. The universe begins to communicate with you through experiences rather than explanations. Every delay carries meaning, every detour carries direction. You become sensitive to signs, guided by intuition, and moved by faith rather than fear. Your inner compass becomes strong and reliable because it is aligned with something higher than logic. It is aligned with truth. When you set a goal that resonates with your inner purpose, you can feel it in your body. There is a sense of peace, excitement, and rightness that flows through you. It is as if your entire being says, "Yes, this is what I was made for." That feeling is your confirmation that the universe is ready to assist. You may not know how it will unfold, but you can trust that everything you need will arrive in divine timing. People appear at the right moment, ideas come when needed, and resources manifest without struggle. This is the effortless cooperation of universal law. When your vibration matches the frequency of your purpose, creation becomes natural. The path of purpose requires listening more than striving. So many people exhaust themselves because they try to control every detail. They believe success depends entirely on their willpower, yet they forget that willpower without alignment creates friction. True power comes from surrender, not struggle. When you surrender to your higher purpose, you no longer push against the current, you flow with it. The river of life carries you forward with grace. You still take action, but your action is guided, inspired, and efficient. You no longer act out of fear of missing out, but out of joy for being in tune. That joy is your sign that you are aligned. The universe speaks in energy, not words. It responds to the vibration you emit. When your goals are aligned with your purpose, your vibration is pure, strong, and magnetic. You begin to attract circumstances that mirror your inner state. If your purpose is to serve, you attract opportunities to serve. If your purpose is to create beauty, beauty finds its way to you. This is why alignment is so powerful. It turns you into a magnet for what matches your inner truth. You stop chasing outcomes because they start finding you. You stop fighting for attention because the right eyes and hearts are drawn naturally to your light. When your goals align with purpose, work no longer feels like work. Effort turns into expression. You can pour yourself into what you do without exhaustion because you are fueled by meaning, not mere ambition. Time expands when you are in alignment. Hours feel like moments, and yet progress accelerates. That is the paradox of spiritual alignment. The less you push, the more you accomplish. This happens because you are no longer scattering your energy on things that don't belong to you. Every thought, every action, every intention moves in one unified direction, and that unity creates power. Alignment also brings peace. When you are disconnected from your purpose, your spirit feels restless, no matter how successful you appear. There is an uneasiness that whispers, "This is not it." You might achieve results, but something feels missing. That missing piece is alignment. When you rediscover your purpose and align your goals with it, the inner chaos quiets. You begin to experience a calm assurance that you are exactly where you need to be. This peace becomes your foundation. It steadies you during uncertainty and gives you patience during waiting seasons. You no longer rush the process because you trust that divine timing is never late. The effortless support of the universe is not something mystical, it is a natural law. Everything in the universe seeks harmony. When your vibration aligns with your intention, harmony is established, and the flow of support begins. Imagine tuning an instrument. When the strings are out of tune, the sound is harsh and discordant. When flow gent is tuned properly, the music flows effortlessly. Your life works the same way. When your goals are tuned to your inner purpose, life becomes music. Things fall into place, not because of chance, but because you are resonating with the melody of divine order. Purpose-driven alignment also makes you resilient. You no longer measure progress by speed or applause. You know that even when nothing visible is happening, something invisible is being prepared. You stop comparing your chapter to someone else's story because you understand that your purpose follows its own divine schedule. This faith gives you endurance. It keeps you steady when others quit. It allows you to keep walking when results seem delayed because you know alignment always brings fulfillment in time. The universe cannot deny someone who walks in truth. It must respond. The beautiful thing about living with aligned purpose is that your success begins to bless others. You no longer succeed in isolation. Your growth uplifts, your abundance inspires, your light awakens light in others. That is how the universe expands through aligned souls radiating their gifts into the world. When your purpose fuels your goals, your achievements carry healing energy. They are not just victories for you, they are victories for everyone connected to your vibration. You become a channel through which divine energy flows freely, touching lives you may never even meet. Alignment simplifies your life. You stop saying yes to distractions disguised as opportunities. You stop scattering your attention on things that look good but feel wrong. Purpose teaches you to honor your intuition above everything else. You no longer chase what glitters because you have learned to recognize the quiet glow of what is meant for you. You start trusting your inner guidance more than external noise. This trust deepens your connection to the divine flow. The more you trust, the more you align. The more you align, the more life supports you. When goals and purpose unite, struggle loses its grip. You stop trying to force success because you realize that success is a natural result of being who you truly are. The energy of authenticity replaces the tension of ambition. You become magnetic not because you chase, but because you radiate. Everything you need begins to seek you with the same intensity that you seek it. You understand that life is not happening times to times you, it is happening times through times you. Your goals become sacred expressions of divine will, and you become the instrument through which that will manifests. There comes a moment when you feel the deep peace of being carried by something larger than yourself. You recognize that your journey is not about control but cooperation. You stop demanding outcomes and start aligning with divine order. You act with purpose, trust the process, and allow grace to handle the rest. In that state of alignment, every action becomes inspired, every result becomes meaningful, and every day becomes proof that when your goals reflect your inner truth, the universe truly does move mountains to meet you halfway. Purpose transforms obstacles into opportunities and turns dreams into divine missions. Every soul on this earth is given a vision, a sacred spark that calls it toward expansion. But between that vision and its fulfillment lie countless challenges, moments of doubt, and trials of endurance. Many see these obstacles as signs to stop, but in truth, they are invitations to grow. Purpose gives meaning to struggle. It changes how you see pain, how you respond to delay, and how you rise after every fall. Without purpose, an obstacle looks like a wall. With purpose, it becomes a doorway. When your heart knows why you are walking the path, no storm can break your spirit. The same fire that ignites your dream also refines your character. For purpose does not just lead you to achievement, it prepares you to carry it. Every challenge holds within it a hidden gift. Purpose teaches you to look for that gift instead of focusing on the wound. The person without purpose asks, "Why is this happening to me?" The person with purpose asks, "What is this teaching me?" This shift transforms your entire experience. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstance and begin to see yourself as a co-creator with life. You realize that every test is strengthening the qualities you need to fulfill your destiny. Patience, faith, courage, humility, all are born in moments of resistance. A life without challenge would be a life without depth, and purpose gives every hardship a sacred reason. When your dreams become guided by purpose, you stop fearing failure. You understand that what looks like failure is simply redirection. The door that closes may be saving you from a path not meant for you. The delay that frustrates you may be preparing something greater behind the scenes. Purpose opens your spiritual eyes so that you no longer judge life by appearances. You begin to trust that even the broken pieces are part of a larger design. That trust keeps you calm when others panic, steady when others give up. It is not blind optimism. It is faith in divine intelligence working through your experiences. Purpose turns obstacles into mirrors that reveal your inner strength. You cannot know how powerful you are until you are tested. It is easy to believe in your vision when everything flows smoothly, but real growth happens when life asks, how much do you truly want this? Purpose answers that question for you. It reminds you that temporary discomfort cannot defeat eternal destiny. Every time you overcome something, you grow stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your mission. The mountain that once looked impossible becomes the reason you stand tall. The fire that once burned you becomes the light that guides you. This is how purpose transforms pain into power. When you walk with purpose, setbacks lose their sting. Instead of breaking your spirit, they deepen your resolve. The energy of purpose turns resistance into momentum. Like a bow pulling an arrow backward, each challenge pulls you closer to your breakthrough. The tension that once felt unbearable becomes the very force that launches you forward. Purpose ensures that nothing is wasted, not your tears, not your struggles, not your losses. Everything serves your awakening. You begin to look at life differently. You stop asking for an easy path and start asking for the strength to walk the one that fulfills your calling. Dreams that are driven by purpose rise above personal desire. They are no longer about what you can get, but what you can give. That shift in consciousness turns ordinary dreams into divine missions. When your purpose becomes service, when your goal is to bring light, healing, inspiration, or truth into the world, then the universe itself begins to assist you. The energy of selflessness is magnetic to miracles. Divine missions are never carried by ego, they are carried by grace. That is why the path of purpose, though sometimes difficult, always feels sacred. You know in your heart that you are being used as an instrument for something higher than yourself. Purpose gives resilience a new meaning. When you face obstacles with purpose, you don't just survive, you evolve. Each challenge refines your vibration, aligning you closer to your true essence. You shed fear, pride, and doubt like layers of an old skin. The person who began the journey is not the same as the one who arrives at the destination. Purpose ensures that you grow along the way, because dreams without growth are empty. The goal is not only to achieve, but to transform. Every obstacle becomes a sculptor, shaping you into the version of yourself who can hold the blessings you seek. When you understand this truth, you stop resisting what life brings. You begin to see divine intelligence operating in everything, the setbacks, the delays, the unanswered prayers. You realize that sometimes the universe protects you through what it denies. That job that didn't work out, that relationship that ended, that opportunity that slipped away, all of them were shaping you for what is truly yours. Purpose helps you interpret rejection as redirection, chaos as construction, and waiting as preparation. You start to see divine order where once you saw disorder. Purpose also awakens creativity in the face of adversity. When obstacles arise, those anchored in purpose do not freeze, they innovate. Purpose opens the mind to solutions the ego could never conceive. It connects you with intuition, the divine intelligence that always knows the next step. You may not see the entire staircase, but you trust the next step to appear beneath your feet. That trust creates movement, and movement invites miracles. This is why people who live with purpose seem unstoppable. They do not wait for certainty to act, they act from conviction, and certainty follows. When your dream becomes a divine mission, your energy shifts from ambition to devotion. You are no longer driven by impatience or competition. You are moved by faith, by love, by the desire to fulfill your reason for being. Every obstacle becomes sacred because it tests your devotion. If the goal was easy, your faith would remain untested, and your purpose would remain shallow. But through resistance, you discover depth. Through difficulty, you discover divine partnership. The journey becomes a holy collaboration between you and the universe. You give your effort, and life gives you miracles in return. Purpose transforms your relationship with time. You stop feeling rushed because you know everything unfolds when it is meant to. You stop measuring progress by how far you have come and start measuring it by how much you have grown. Each obstacle slows you down only to deepen your roots. The stronger your roots, the higher you rise. This is the wisdom of purpose. It builds you from the inside out. The world may see only results, but you begin to value the unseen progress, the patience you developed, the strength you discovered, the faith you cultivated. These invisible victories prepare you for visible success. When you live with purpose, you also become an inspiration to others. People watch how you respond to adversity, and your strength gives them courage. Your perseverance becomes a living example that obstacles are not meant to stop us, but to awaken us. You start to realize that your challenges were never just about you. They were about everyone you would uplift through your example. The light you find in darkness becomes the light you share. Your dream becomes more than personal achievement. It becomes divine service. That is what it means for a dream to become a mission. It blesses beyond the self. Purpose keeps your spirit humble even as you rise. You understand that you are not achieving through your own strength alone, but through the flow of divine guidance working through you. That humility keeps you connected to grace. It keeps your heart open to receive further direction. You begin to see that your obstacles were never punishments. They were lessons teaching you how to trust, how to listen, and how to align. When you live this way, the smallest victories feel sacred because you recognize the invisible hand that helped you reach them. Even in moments of silence, when progress seems still, purpose assures you that movement is happening beneath the surface. Seeds do not sprout the moment they are planted. They take root in darkness first. Likewise, your dreams grow quietly before they bloom. Purpose teaches you to honor that unseen process. You stop forcing growth and start nurturing it. You water your vision with faith and patience, trusting that everything will bloom in divine season. The waiting, the working, the weeping, all become parts of the same sacred journey. Purpose transforms every experience into evolution. The obstacles you once feared become reminders of your resilience. The detours you once resented become proofs of divine timing. The dreams you once held tightly in fear become missions carried by faith. You begin to realize that nothing has ever been against you. Everything has been shaping you for alignment with your divine path. When purpose is your foundation, even the hardest days carry hidden blessings. You start to walk not in resistance, but in reverence for the unfolding wisdom of your journey.